Hello everyone, welcome back to Roll. Yesterday we tried to do a 1 through 11 run with an 11 Yahtzee and then a few other bits scattered in between. And I think I just bought too much high scoring stuff too early and it just never finished the run. I couldn't get the 1s or the 2s in the late game, so this time we're going to rectify that. We're going to make sure we're building up all of the numbers whilst they're available to us before we get to the late game shop, and then we'll worry about trying to make Yahtzees and all the other stuff. So, as ever, beginning with the early game, let's go through all this bit together rather than skipping over it, because if I skip over it too often, you might not know what's going on behind the scenes here. So we start off by just buying whatever is available to us, starting with the cheapest of any given item, and stacking them on the 6. And the goal here is to get up to a 97, because 97 is the largest prime number. So using the flag, we put the flag on the thing we want to buy, and then as soon as we have enough points to buy that thing, it automatically whips us back to the shop. Now, in days of old, you would only buy numbers +1 through +5 on these parts of the shop, but now you can get incrementers and re-rollers. So if you can find them, do try and implement them into your score gain in the early game. But they're relatively rare, so you might not see them. Typically, it used to be that trying to get a pair of 97s was the given best advice for trying to get up to the highest scores in the early game. But I tend to do that less these days, just because I find I find it harder to get 2 full 97s in scoring before hitting kind of the 2,000 rolls mark. I don't know if things are just more expensive now and that's the impact that's been had against it. You do get a few more free shop refreshes though, which is nice. But we're just going to keep bringing this 64 all the way up to the 90s. If we don't get to exactly 97, I won't be too mad. We can always stop on 93 because that's also prime. We'll see what the last shop looks like when we get there. Now here we have our single reroll. So we put that onto one face and it will reroll once and only once. The question becomes, do we put it on an 84 so we have a chance of rolling 2 84s, or do we put it on the lower number so that when we roll the worst number we have a chance of rolling something bigger with it? So let's go with that today. We'll refresh. So we're on 84. We need 13 more to get to 97. So we'll pick up what we're presented here. And we'll grab another reroller and stick that on the 2, being the other lowest number. And so we want exactly 5, which is 4 + 1. So that gives us our 97, and with 2,118 rolls left, I'm not going to stick around to try and make a second face 97. I'm just going to get going to our upgrades. We skip straight over shop tier 2 onto shop tier 3. That sets us up with 3 dice. And on shop tier 3, we can now find, if we refresh a couple of times. In fact, I'm first going to buy a +2 and put the +2 on a 5 for a 7. And I'm going to buy a +7 and put that on a 1 for an 8. Probably should have done the 9. We could get a die of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 here. That would have a 10 on it. But I think it's going to be a lot of rolls to get to 4,500 right now. So we'll probably pick that up later. Instead, we're going to refresh and we're going to look for one of these, a 4x. That's going to multiply the 97 we have on that center die, being our largest number, by 4 times. And we can pick up 6 times double re-rollers and put that on the center die, so all of those faces will now cause 2 re-rolls. There's a numeric number 10. We can just grab that, and we don't have a die to put it on. We can buy a die of numbers 1 through 50, I guess. I don't love it, but we're going to need to buy some dice at some point. Unless it has a number we need on it. No, 12 is not one of the numbers we're looking for, so we'll replace that with a 10. Then we found a reroller and an add multiplier. I don't think at this point we need too much else from this shop. But what I will do while we're here is reroll a couple of times and just look for a couple of cheap dice that we actually want. Incrementers not so much right now. I will take a pair of all ones. We can use those to our advantage. And it already has an all one on it, and we need one of those for our strategy. In fact, let's stick a 2 on there. We now have 1s and 2s covered. And let's go with this strategy some more. Let's buy 2 more of those. And then we can add stuff to those as necessary to get where we need. So do we want anything more at this tier of shop? I think not. I think we can fairly safely go up to tier 4. So we now have 9 dice. And we get the passives available to us. Now at some point we would like to buy a void die. I'll pick up numbers divisible by 2 bonus, because that's not going to be too many of our faces right now. Then what we're really looking for is a set all die faces, which we get right here, and we get an add void. So we'll set all of those die in the center to 97. It's going to be our early scoring engine. Here's a die with a number 6 on it. We're going to need one of those. We'll take the 10x. No, we won't. We'll save the 10x to put on the void die, but we'll take bonus from prime numbers, because the 97 is a prime high scoring number, which will help us generate the cash needed for the void die. Then with that, we'll grab the 10x. Was it a 99 on there? What are the odds? I mean, 1 in 99, I suppose. So we'll stick that there. Then we'll spend some rerolls here. So how are we doing for die faces? This is going to be 7, this is going to be 8. We've obviously got 1 and 2 sorted. There's a 3 on here. There's a 6 on there. So we need a 5. We could take this one if we needed to. Let's take a plus. Hold on. Let's try and use a modicum of common sense here. We need an 11 that we don't have yet. And this is a standard die. So let's put a 6 on... Let's put a 7 on a 6. Why, brain? Why would you do that? Why would you think that that was 11? I'm so mad. That's 11. Oh, brain. What are you like? What are you like? Okay. Settle die faces. We're going to need to do this eventually. Let's start with 7. Because that's prime, and we've got prime bonuses already, do we? Yeah, we've got a small prime bonus. Numeric 6. That's going to be a 6, but we can put a numeric 6 over here and have the opportunity to add something to it. Not 10. I will grab reroll in triplicate for the void die. This has 2, 4, and 6 on it. That's beneficial to us. And a plus 10 would give us another 11 if we want it. Why not? So we've got ones. Let's just do 2s. We'll start counting up instead of down. 15 we don't need. A 10x we already have on there, so we'll stick one over here. Buy one, get one free. I will gladly invest in. We don't need the incrementer die. Fewer than 6 dice is no good for us. But we've got plus 3s and plus 4s here. So 1, 2. Three, we actually can't add on to anything to get. Unless we have a 2 on a 1. So let's abandon that. This has a 3 and 11, that has a 3. This has a 6. That has a 6 that doesn't need to be a 6, so we can add something to that. Do we have a 9? We do not have a 9. So, plus 3. You get to make the 9. Congratulations. Right, reroll in triplicate. We have that on the void die already, so we can actually get that face that's scoring. I don't want it to be on the 7, so I drag it off the screen, and now it's not on that 7 anymore. We glue that down. And then 6 times reroll in triplicate. We'll put that on the 7s, why not? Plus 10 again. We can make more 11s. Doesn't hurt us to do so, and we will want more 11s at the end one way or another. We had something with a 4, didn't we? We have a 4 here. We have a 4 there. That's 2, 4, 6. That's 2, 4, 6, 5, 8. You know what? I'm just going to buy this. That puts us at 10, 11, 12, 13 dice. Now, I'd really like to see some more settled die faces before I spend loads of money increasing our scoring capabilities. That way, if I can stop thinking about this problem and just get the run done, we can start focusing on everything else. So let's do a 6 over here. 6 is done. Never have to think about it again. This is very cheap, so we'll purchase it. Die with 6, 12. We don't need that. Do we need any of the other big numbers? We've got enough 11s to feed a small family. We have 10 up here. We have 9. We have 8. We have 7. We have 6. This is our only 8 and 5 at the moment, I think. There's an 8 there. So I think we're going to be okay. So we don't need to buy a thing with a 6 on it. There's run length multiplier. We will pick that up while we're looking at it. There's probably a more efficient way to do this, but I'm going to stick with what I can see. This is re-rolling in duplicate at the moment. But right now I think I'm happy enough to bring one of the 11s over to it. Runs reroll in universal twice. We'll pick that up. I'd still like to see some settled die faces, please. Generally, if you ask the game nicely, it gives you it. There you go. So this is going to be our die of all ones. That's fine, we can fix that later. 2s, 3s. It's probably not an ideal time. Let's do 9. Simple enough. There's a standard die, that's a treat. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We need 2 more dice, one of which will come from the upgrade. So we got 1s and 2s. Let's do 3s, because that was a small number we had problems with previously. A free 10x. Happy to see that. I don't want a die of 77s. I don't want stuff that's going to increase my score too much right now. I just want settled die faces. Do we want to move anything? 1, 2, 3. I'll tell you what, let's move. No, I was going to put a 1 on here just so we don't have to worry about resetting this face, but we have 1s, 2s, 3s. A candidate for 4. Do we have 5s done? Have I completely missed over 5? There's a 5 here. There's a 4 there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we don't have a separate 10. There's an 8 down here as well. I'm bad at counting, guys. I just want more settled die faces so I can stop thinking about the counting. One, 2, 3. Give me this 4. 4 is done. Now we need a numeric 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we do the 5 here, we lose an 8, but there's an 8 on other dice. So we can do 5. We've got 6 done already. I saw shop for fresh adders, but right now it's not my concern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. 8. 9, 10. And one more makes 11. Alright, that should be our complete run. Yes? We need an extra 1 down here, but that's absolutely fine. Let's do it one final count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Round of applause for me. It only took me 2 days and an extra 20 minutes, but I counted to 11, guys. I'm really proud of myself. We have a void die, so the next thing to consider is just buying any old die to get us up to 16. Because this was 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We need 1 die and then a shop upgrade. So give me a prime. Then we don't need any of this. Let's upgrade the shop. That should be 16 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Super. We can just stick this anywhere, really. Avoid the weights. We'll take the 200% bonus for 5s now. Then we want to set all die faces on any other 11s that we can. Spent all that time worrying about the numbers. This just appeared at the upgrade. Completely never occurred to me that we could use it. Also, where did these 3s come from? I guess that's the prime die I just bought, but it's just taunting me now. But it does have an 11 on it, so that's nice. Right, so what are we looking for now? We've got 1 die of 11, 2 die of 11. This will be a die of 11. That's 3. We need to move an 11 to the void die. That'll be 4. And then this has an 11 on it, will be 5. So we need a couple more settle die faces and move a die before we increase our score all too dramatically. Did we get a run reroller? We did. So basically everything's re-rolling twice anyway, and then we'll just worry about a triple re-roller for anything else later. So again, showing some self-restraint and not buying passives we don't need currently. So what else do we actually want now? 11, 11, 11, 11, 11. So we need a move a face. Pretty please game. I'll take 6 times re-rollers. Stick that on there. 6 times triple, of course. So I want some move faces. Numbers less than 13, 500% is really important, but not what I want right now. I'm gonna hold out on it rather than grabbing it immediately. Same for a lot of the passives right now. But I will take Passive Hunter and No Weights Reroll, ironically. So now everything rerolls in triplicate, and we get 2 free passives when we go to buy any kind of passive upgrade. We get 2 shop refreshes, rather. Words, not my strong point today. I'll take a 10x previous roll multiplier, stick that on the voids. And this question mark costs 1, so I'll throw that over here right now. This has settled die faces for 1. We'll do that over here to get rid of this 97 on our 1. And we're still looking for move a die face. Not the whole die. There it is. So we'll pick up one of those. And we're going to move one of our 11s from somewhere. This die is as good a donator as any. Over to here. Then we want to set all those other faces to be all 11s. I'm going to pick up this combined face multipliers. That's a very important thing we didn't manage to get last time. And with the run completed, I think we can start grabbing some of the other stuff that we see around the place. So there's a settle die faces. for this 11. Then we need one more of those. For this 11. So let's just take stock. We have our run. We've counted that through multiple times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Good. We have 11, 11, 11, 11, and a single one here. Whenever that rolls, that will guarantee a Yahtzee. So that means it's just this die here is the spare, because we should have 11 dice 1 through 11, then 4 more 11s makes 15, and this is the odd one out. So we can put whatever we want on there. It's not going to have too big an impact. What we can now do though is start stacking multipliers up to times 99 on single faces, which is really important. We'll grab Scavenger for 5 mil whilst it's there as well. I would love a toggle that I could click and then I'd never have to see dice for sale if I know that I'm at 16 dice, I wanted 16 dice, never try and you can keep showing them to me, just let me lock them so I can't accidentally click them and ruin the run or something. Right, did we get no weights reroll in triplicate? We did, so we don't need to worry about trying to get anything to reroll. Let's get another wild. Stick that on there. So I think we're ready to just about buy every score upgrade that we find. We could get an exclusive multiplier and put it somewhere, basically anywhere, like on the 1, and then try and glue down the other 5 faces. That is one way to think of how we might start to increase our score. So that is to say, we get one exclusive multiplier and say put it here and glue it down, and then we get a bunch on the other dice but glue down all of the non-exclusive multiplier faces. Replaces a die face of your choice with an exclusive multiplier. When across all rolled dice only one exclusive multiplier is rolled, the single exclusive multiplier will have the value of all the wilds and total roll multipliers. Well, there's only one of those on the board anyway, so that seems less pertinent. So let's take our Yahtzee bonus for our 11s. We take our 5x for that 11 there. We do not buy Yahtzee increases the number because that ruins our 11s. We don't need to glue anything down, but we'll keep stacking onto there. No weights increase. These are all the passives we don't need. Give me another 10x though. As our highest scoring die, that's where all of our priority goes. And if we see some glue, what I'll start doing is going around the other dice and gluing down one face of each die, and then that's our target to add multipliers to later on. Now, do we want these? The value of all numeric faces will be multiplied by the specified amount. All non-numeric faces will have no effect or value. I think that's probably worth forgetting about this. Although we would lose out on this. And honestly, I have no idea if making everything else be worth 60 times more is worth more than this times 2, times 2, times 2, times 2, times 10. If that is worth more than this times 60. So let's not do those. It's the part where people far smarter than I will tell you the definitive correct path at that point of divergence. But I'm feeling much better about this run. Getting much more set up in the early game means there's far less floundering in the late game. It'll be interesting to see how the scoring compares later. There's still lots of passives we have not seen, but at this stage everything isn't kind of ludicrously expensive yet, so that's not too much a problem. There's Yahtzee's get an extra 1000%. It's quite a lot. Don't need +9. I'll grab a wild if it costs 1. There's run multiplier bonus. We'll certainly pick that up. That's going to multiply everything by 11. Non-standard multiples we don't need because we only have multiples in numeric values. Another 4x, so we're up to 79. 2 10 pluses, we'd be there. We'll grab a glue. So let's find some other 11s. Numbers divisible by 5. Well, that is our 5s and 10s. This costs 1. So I'm going to take the opportunity to move the 1 to the very top position, since that cost me 1 to do. And we will continue on that theme if things continue to be incredibly cheap. We'll pick that up for 800% more with 50 times dice if we get the 5 times number of dice passive. 10x more there, we can get 5x more as well. Then 5 more and that one's done. Was it add die quantity that ruined the previous run? I feel like it shouldn't, but I'm also like super cagey about it. So I'm going to let my fear get the better of me and not buy it. 5 more though, gets that to times 99. The value of rerolled dice are increased by the bonus percentage, absolutely. Another wild for a penny. Madam, for $1, name a number on a dice. For $1! There's 10x, so after that one's done, I guess we start going to our next 11 within the Yahtzee. Don't accidentally buy things we don't want, particularly more dice. Double your highest die though, absolutely. Single set of a kind, well, we only have 1 Yahtzee, so that's going to pay out well. 5x more on there. $50 dice, 500% bonus, absolutely. 5x more here. I feel like our spending capability does not currently match the value of things in the shop, but that's about to change on this refresh probably. So none of this is stuff we need. We could probably glue down a couple more of the choice faces on our 11s. Apparently that's the face of the day. No 99s, 200% bonus. We can absolutely benefit from that. 10x more right here. And again. Then we don't need this, but we can pick it up for 2 shop refreshes, I believe. Yes. Right, I don't think triples helps us, because the thing we're rolling always rolls a Yahtzee and everything else exists alone, but we'll grab it for the rerolls. Again, more things that just reroll more than we need, but for the current cost and for the shop refreshes we're getting back from it, I'm happy with the expenditure right now. There's a bunch of stuff up top we want. Could have easily rolled past some of these, I'm sure. Would not be the first time. It's a very elite number. Right, we don't want any of that. We're skipping over numeric bonuses today. There's 3x more though. Don't need any of this. Lottery failure, evens, reroll. There's top 3. Do we want top 3? Is that what screwed us over last time? It can't be, because having our top 3 dice be worth the value of 30 dice, and our bottom 15 dice having the worth of 7 dice, is absolutely correct. I believe. Counterpoint, I don't know anything, and you should not listen to my advice. We're not after any of the lottery benefits today. $100 dice bonus we can't benefit from. 5 dice here though, or 5 times. And 4 times gets us to 94. And then a 5x gets that one to 99. I'm going to miss that one because it was slap bam in the middle of the screen. Reroll bonus for a 50% extra, absolutely. And I'm going to pick up this shop refresh adder and just stick it right there. Right, 10x more. We've done this 11. Let's start on this 11. Pick that up for the rerolls. I feel like we could be here in a while now. Just finessing 10x multipliers to stuff. Single set of a kind for 300% value, absolutely. It's more value for the single Yahtzee we make each time. No, that's a misclick, but kind of the most harmless misclick you can imagine. Then we don't need either of those or any other stuff at the top. So we can just kind of let things get nice and mellow now. Just keep looking for the purchases we want, skipping by the stuff we don't, and seeing how many multipliers we can stack, basically. We're getting more numbers to 99 than I think I've ever accomplished previously. Right, we're out of free rerolls. But we can pick up some passives just to get some more. Let's move number 2 to here and number 3 to here. Now what I should really do is think about the proximity of the wild cards to our highest scoring dice, although I think that is these two. We should probably move the wilds to be in the center of that and the 11s, because if we can get the wild proximity multiplier, that's actually going to be quite important. So I should probably stop screwing around with setting the numbers up to be in numerical order and actually think with my brain for more than half a second. But for now we're just going to keep stacking. We've got 90 there now, so one more plus 10 and that'll be done. Grab a free one. There's 5 more. There's that to 99 as well. So this has a times 99 on it. This has a times 99 on it. If we put this here, it's still adjacent to all the question marks. Then we can leapfrog the question marks over to the right in a moment. Doubles bonus, we do want, because there'll be some times where our void die here rolls on the 10x or the other numbers, which means we won't be making a Yahtzee, but we can make 2 pairs of 11s otherwise. That's more re-rollers, but that's also shop refreshes, which is stuff we need. So you have 99, you have 99, time to start on you. And then this one will take the spot where we put the number 1 previously at the top. We'll swap that over when we get a chance. Feeling so much better about this one than the last session though. Numbers less than 13 get 500% more. That's a big one. Square numbers get 200% more. Also quite a big one. I feel like because I wasn't buying up all the passives earlier, there's still quite a few of them that we haven't seen at all yet. Shop stuff getting up into the E16. That happened very quickly. All stuff we don't need. There's a couple of 10x's. Right, none of the rest of this is stuff we need. I don't think we need to worry about glue too much, but since it's being presented to us, we'll just stick it on some of the same spots on our other dice. There's move a whole die, so we'll leapfrog this to there. No 99s, 100% bonus. Absolutely. No weights, 100% bonus. Again, absolutely. We got up to E17, which is something we failed to do previously at any point on this build, the last run. Obviously, we've had scores of E17 and higher, but not with this arrangement. Lucky rerolls and lottery failure rerolls are both not what we need. There's another die mover, so we can move this one that we're currently building up to here. Then we want to be on the lookout for wild proximity bonus, wild adjacency bonus. Would you look at that? The game knows. The game knows. Whenever a wild is orthogonally adjacent to the die it is copying, it will be worth 10 times more. Wilds target the highest scoring die. If there is a tie, it will target the die that was most recently added. There's E18, which is quite the cost. But there it is. Don't need the rest of this. Put another 5x on there. Grab that. Runs increasing and no weights increasing we want to avoid, because that would turn all of our numbers into 99s, which are not prime and are not divisible by 5 or by 2 or lower than 13. Numbers less than 13, 1000% bonus. That's the money maker right there. We just have to wait until we get the really big payouts. Then it all happens. Lotteries add die quantity scares me too much. I feel like it breaks runs under my nose, even though it probably doesn't. Is there anything else we want to move now? I don't think so. So let's just not screw with it. Single face adjacency, immune. We can take 10x more up here. Yahtzees, 1000 dice. Do we have both of the Yahtzee bonuses now? I think there's like a 500 and 1000. We do indeed. They're both right next to each other. All die quantities are 5 times their value. That is going to mean we can then benefit from having more than 50 die here for 500% more. If you have 50 or more die, the value of all dice will be increased by the bonus percentage. So we have 16 die, but 16 times 5 is more than 50. See how tiny our rolls are when we don't hit the big combos we need. And then how big they get when we do. I think we'll basically get that top one up to times 99. And then we'll be ready to probably consider rolling out. And yeah, that is glued. That's glued. This is glued. That's glued. Overkill for a single pip, but you know, we'll take it. We'll spend our refreshes looking for any passives that we haven't gained yet that we probably do want. Factor 18 multiplier won't do anything for us because we have more than 9 dice. We could take stop production on our shop refresh adder. Quantity of shop refreshes squared times 100. I mean, 5 squared is 25 times 100. It's not worth it in the scheme of things. No weight's 200% value is absolutely worth rolling for. It'd be nice. Can you imagine if you had like expansion is not a word. An extension or an overlay that gave you, just off screen, a list of all of the passives, and as you bought them, it grayed them out for you. Or instead of this showing you which passives you've purchased, showing all of the passives, and having them all be like dark grey, and then when you buy one, it becomes bright, as is shown, so you can see what you're missing and what's worth rolling after. Just a thought. Right, let's roll down a bit. I imagine we're not going to see much worth our time. Yeah, 100% more on square numbers. That's probably worth our time. $100 dice bonus. Well, we have 16 times 5, which is only 80. So, not worth doing. Maybe if you did a 25 die run, that would be the difference maker. Right, I'm not really interested in spending points on my rerolls now. I'll just take them as they come free to us. Numbers divisible by 2, an extra 50%. Sure. Yahtzees re-rolling and the like, we don't need. Yeah, it looks like we're pretty much through anything that's going to increase our score in any kind of major way now. So it looks like we're just going to roll out, I think. Do we expect to go past E23? Maybe we'll just barely squeak out an E24 perhaps. But we'd have to get a bunch of very lucky rolls in a row, which I don't think we will. We might not even get to 3.x E23. No, apparently we got one really good roll in there somewhere. And that did all of the work for us to get to 2.1 E23. But hey, I'll take it. So, I hope, Zoe Zebra, that is far closer to what you expected to see. As ever, if anyone has any recommendations for builds you'd like to see executed, whether that's very poorly or done better a second time round, put them down in the comments below. E23 compares to my E26 personal best at the moment with lotteries. Let's see how we're doing on the full leaderboard. 71st. Still knocking around in the top 100, but I imagine not for too much longer. I think a lot of these high scores use the strategy where you get lots of dice and you do the die value total multipliers, and you breed out dice with die breeders and have multipliers for total number of dice, and that's a whole thing that I don't want to get too involved with because the runs take considerably longer than I have day to day. But in any case, thank you guys ever so much for watching. If you're enjoying the series, please do consider hitting that like button or subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!